Hey there, and welcome back. Vanabin and I would like to welcome you to the Isle of Refuge, proper now. Our goal is to talk to Murrar Shar outside the entrance to Mirren's Tower. So here's Murrar Shar, so there's Mirren's Tower. Let's see. Welcome. I have been anticipating your arrival. Your skills are greatly needed here at Queen's Colony. Who are you? I am Murrar Shar, General of the Royal Antonican Guard and Protector of Queen Antonia Vale. It's funny because he's a cat man, for lack of a better term. What is the purpose of this colony? The Queen's Colony was established as a training ground for prospective citizens of Kinos. Our great city needs valiant defenders. Tell me more about Kinos. Kinos is a grand city that stands on the western shores of the continent of Karan. It is a place where truth and justice are valued above all else. It is ruled by the brave and noble Queen Antonia Vale. Our kingdom is a bright light that stands against the dark empire of Freeport. Tell me about Freeport. Freeport is a city of cruelty and malice governed by its selfish overlord Lucan Delir. He is a dangerous madman who seeks to conquer Norath and hold us all in his iron grip. Beware his lies. I will do so. How can I be of service to the colony? Your future is as bright as your heart, but there are perils in this world that only the mightiest of adventurers may overcome. Live for Kinos, and Kinos will live for you. I am ready to learn, Murrar. I am very glad to hear it. Go and speak to Trainer Hale McInnes, just northwest of here near the archway. I've written his name in your journal. He will teach you the basics of combat. I will do as you ask. And for that quest reward for talking to Murrar Shar, we got Shar's Faith, which is a accessory. Now, it was a long time ago now, probably several years, but they as you would imagine in an RPG in this game, and that is one of the annoying things about being a free-to-play player. This will just pop up randomly, but anyway. They condensed stats, so now every item has 3 primary attributes, which just changes. So it changes what stat it gives you, or what stat bonus it gives you based on your class, so you don't have to worry about getting gear that specifically has intelligence if you're a mage class, for example, or strength if you're a fighter, that kind of thing. It just sort of streamlines it. So we're going to go ahead and get that, and now we have a new quest, the Art of Combat, to talk to that guy. Let me equip that ring first, though. And there it is. Cool. And another player. Very cool. Wow. Oh, this... He has the alternate appearance. That's interesting. I could have sworn I had that turned off unless this NPC is supposed to have it permanently. Let's see. Oh, I do have alternate models on. Okay, here we go. I wonder how that happened. There we go. That's the trainer Hale McInnes I'm used to. Hello there, CallaDiver. I'm here to teach you teach new recruits, the basics of combat. Murrar told me you show great promise. Having some trouble here today. I'd like to learn about combat so that I can help the colony. Okay, let's see what you're made of. One of the nearby sparring partners to my left would be happy to test your mettle. Challenge any one of them and return to me when you've earned a victory. So that just, you can elaborate more to figure out how to fight, but I think I'm pretty familiar with MMOs at this point to figure out how tap target combat works. Combat in EverQuest 2 I have seen described by others as remembering your ABCs, which ABC stands for always be casting. You should never have a moment where you're not doing something in the combat of EverQuest 2. So did you defeat the sparring partner like I asked? I was victorious. Great work. You've proven your worth and are ready for greater challenges. If you want further instruction later, just come see me. But right now you must report back to Murrar so you can discover what's behind the trouble here at the colony. So as you know, as I elaborated in the first video, in EverQuest 2 there are 2 factions, the one of Freeport and the one of Kinos. I have heard Kinos pronounced so many different ways. I'm not sure which one is correct. I've just always read it as Kino, so that's the one I say. The evil faction of Freeport is led by Luke and Delir, and just one thing I really want to share about that is that Luke and Delir is voice acted in this game by the late great Christopher Lee, and if you make an evil character, you get an item in your inventory that actually lets you hear some of his voice acting immediately in the tutorial, so unfortunately I can't share that with you, but it's pretty interesting. Hello again. Have you passed the test the trainer Hale McGinnis set before you? I defeated my sparring partner and learned about combat. I'm glad to hear it. For now, we have need of your courage. Our courage, excuse me. Until recently, our colony lived in peace with a clan of goblins known as the Sapswill that reside on the other side of the island. But for some unknown reason, they have begun to attack us. We need to begin an investigation at once to get to the bottom of this. Will you help? I would be glad to. What can I do? The goblins have started attacking us from the west. We're not sure what sparked the uprising, but they are now relentlessly trying to invade the colony. I need you to go see how our defenders are doing at the west gate and gather any information you can. Speak to Sergeant Haggis at the barricades and see what you can do to assist him. Once again, I will do so. Good luck and thanks. And now we finally get some gloves to cover up our hands. And once again, like I was talking about, there's a level up. Nice, level 3. Let's see if we get a new skill. We get Fiery Annihilation, which is 10 heat damage on the target, and then 2 heat damage on target for every 4 seconds. I'm gonna actually make that Alt 1. Oh, this hotbar is locked. 1 second. Hotbar settings. Allow draggable icons. There we go. Now we can just move it. But there's, it's gone now because of the day-night cycle, I think. Yeah, but we could see Lucklin a little bit. Har, these scampering whelps will never break through. Oh, hello there. What's that? Murrar sent you. Yes, he was wondering how our defenses are holding. While the goblins aren't very powerful, they're definitely tenacious. It's almost as if they have no mind of their own and are throwing themselves at us like flies onto a swatter. Could you use some help? Aye, you're a gutsy one, aren't you? I'll give you a chance to prove your strength. Fend off some of these invading Sapswill and we'll see how you fare. Alright, and we need to kill 3 Tainted Sapswill invaders attacking the barricade. And with this, you have to kill them before they get too close to the barricade, or else the guards here, the NPCs, will take credit for their kill and it won't count towards our quest. I like the Fiery Annihilation animation a lot. Also, it seems to do a pretty decent amount of damage. I guess that's why it has the cooldown that it does. Okay, now returning to Sergeant Haggis. I was kind of worried about starting the video at night, but it was probably just towards the tail end of the night cycle. Because this area is definitely prettiest when it's during the day. By the hilt of the claymore, you're a strong one. I could use your strength for another task. A platoon of my soldiers set out a while ago and hasn't returned. Search a Sunset Meadow for these soldiers and return to me with your findings. I will. I think Sunset Meadows is like right here. Yeah. So really, he could just take maybe 30 steps tops to find one of his dead soldiers. Quest journal update: the missing soldiers were dead. Even worse, their text box went away so fast that I couldn't even read it. And now the soldier's attacking me. That's probably what it said. Actually, I could probably check my quest log to see what that said. Even worse, their remains seem to rise from the dead and attack me as if controlled by some diabolical force. Okay, that is essentially what it said. They'll pay for this. You've done well. Sometimes when you're not busy, maybe you take a job with Kino's guard and we can fight alongside one another again. Take this information back to Murrar. Farewell. I don't know what it is. I think the font of the game is really messing with me. It's kind of a little too scrunched up for me, as to read out loud, but we're doing all right. Yes, these reports are disturbing indeed. I cannot place the source that tainted our beloved soldiers. I agree, there's something behind all of this. I can assure you that we will find out, though. In the meantime, here is a reward for your continued assistance. I'm ready to help now. Ready to continue, eh? The dead soldiers were resurrected by something most evil and bent on destroying the colony. Recently, the wildlife on the island has felt the effects of the evil as well. I must get some samples from those creatures so that I can examine them more closely. I could do that. It probably just involves me killing a certain amount of enemies. Which, yeah, EverQuest 2 is definitely pretty guilty of that generic MMO joke of go out and kill 10 or 15 rats or whatever. Thank you, but I've already sent a skilled hunter to do the job. Maybe you should check up on him, though, and make sure things are going well. He's been out in the Tainted Forest for a while now. Look for Shaddur up the stairs on the north side of Sunset Meadow. And we're going to be getting... So as you can imagine, looking at these quest rewards, we're going to be getting a full set of armor by the time we end up leaving Queen's Colony. Also, I can't remember if I elaborated on this and explained, but this tutorial is pretty much exactly the same for the evil faction as well. The area is identical. It just has different NPCs with different dialogue, basically, but the quests are, I believe the quests are pretty much identical too. And exploring this forest, we got up to level 4. Are we gonna get anything for that? Yeah, we got magic shielding, which is kind of just a cast it and forget it spell, which increases our, I believe that's stamina, focus and defense, and mitigation versus physical and elemental, noxious, and arcane damage. So yeah, that'll just be up here, always on. Rah, this day is grim. Has this world lost all of its goodness and left us with this cold husk? I suppose you were sent by Murrar, but my job has been halted. Easy there, all is not lost. I can help. Help was a word I didn't expect to hear, but I'm most likely beyond helping. See, I was sent here to collect samples from the wildlife, but that has become tainted. But on my hunt I was ambushed by the nearby goblins. My bow and arrows were lost in the scuffle. Maybe I can find your bow and arrows. I'm sure my bow is in the hands of one of those tainted sapswill tappers that ambushed me. You might try, but I don't expect much. And then we have an optional quest here that we don't need to pick up to finish the storyline of Queen's Colony, but we're gonna do it anyway. Shh, I'm trying to listen to the silence. Whisper, please. Listen to the silence. Away from the noise over in the camp. I like standing here. You can see where you've been and where you can go. You know what awaits you if you go further in. If only everything were as simple as that, where all your choices are clear and you can see what awaits. The view is not so clear from here. True, but it's clearer than, say, the difference between good and evil. All those around here who are good avoid me because I was born evil. I grew up in Freeport. Does that make them better than me somehow, that I choose to leave Freeport to work on behalf of the Queen only recently? Who knows? Yet I must be evil. I can sense it. I can sense the evil in others, man. I'm so sorry. What evil do you sense? They say that there is a taint rising from an unknown source, polluting this place and corrupting the inhabitants. I feel it is much simpler than that. There are spiders in the Tainted Forest, poisonous ones. With their venom, they can cause untold suffering. The search for evil sometimes has a mundane cause. We must rid the colony of these spiders. I will do what I can. It's up to us to find the answers. They're never handed to us. This person enjoys philosophical speaking at every turn, I guess. Oh, these people both have circles, so my target encounter spell worked on both of them. If you target one and the circle beneath another enemy also appears, it means they're part of an encounter. Also, I love how Vanabin, the Earthen Avatar, just rushes to the enemy so fast. I feel like I was going to bring something up when I was walking in here, but then I completely lost track of it. I know I was talking about the fact that the tutorials are identical. Oh, I wanted to add that when they got rid of the Isle of Refuge as the tutorial, I think because the tutorial areas they replace the Isle of Refuge with are unique depending on the faction, and if you're neutral, you can go to either one, but there's also one that can be went to by anyone, or gone to by anyone. Speaking of which, we've gone to level 5 now, and we were given a heroic opportunity. I wish I could talk to you about heroic opportunities, but I've never really been able to get my head around them. And that spider just spawned on us, but that's fine because we really need to kill him. Or because we still have one more to kill. This quicksand move is more of a snare. It slows and roots the target. It doesn't do any damage, so it's pretty situational, so I'm just going to leave it up here for now. As a clickable, because I don't think I'll need to be using it too often. Oh, I picked up a parchment scrap from a sap soil, and I didn't read it, and I need to for the Tainted quest. The edges of the parchment are torn and jagged as though ripped from a much larger document. If we examine it further, you can barely make out some writing on this scrap. Quote, "The toxic crawlers will be useful to cover the totem." The reference to a totem is puzzling. Why would someone want a totem covered in spiders? There must be more pieces of this parchment amongst these toxic crawlers. Which means we need to kill more of them. With our crystal blasts and our fiery annihilation. And I'm not sure if that's a percentage chance or not, but thankfully we only had to kill one to get the rest of the parchment. If you line up the parchment pieces, the newest piece adds enough new words that you can read. The toxic crawlers will be useful to cover our tracks. Leave the totem in the eastern rocks. Apparently, Deianira's concern about the spiders is well placed, though not for the reasons she thinks. I must find more of this parchment to learn what this totem means. I mean, I personally feel like the totems are in the east rock is more than enough. Oh, that is what it says. We need to go find the totem. And we're heading east, and here's a bunch of rocks, so. There we go. Here's the parchment. And now if we put all of them together, we get... The last bit of parchment was caught on the web near the large pile of rocks. You piece it together and read, "The toxic crawlers will be useful to cover our tracks. Leave the totem in the eastern rocks beneath Dire Spike. Dire Spike must be a tainted spider with great power. Maybe he's painted as well, I'm not sure. You realize you may have to flush him from his lair by picking off the nearby spiders until he appears to meet your challenge." Okay, so let's try. I'm not sure exactly how to trigger this quest, or how to trigger Dire Spike, so I'll just stand near the rocks and pull them to... Oh, there he is. For whatever reason, the spiders in this game don't set off my arachnophobia nearly as much as other games. Although them curling up in death is still pretty disgusting. Okay, I'm going to go tell Deianira that the toxic crawlers are not the source of the taint. Oh, look at Vanabin tanking for us. That's very sweet of him. Oh, and that's why he wanted to attack the enemy so badly. He knew we were going to level up to level 6 if we did. We got Cure Magic, which is this cures any detrimental effects you have on you, like a slow or a damage over time. Once again, we need to go to hotbar settings and allow draggable icons to get that to a better spot. There we go. Actually, let's put that here, because we put, near Heal Servant. I found a parchment that hinted Dire Spike was under the influence of something else. The influence of something else, but I've sensed the evil in them. They aren't capable of planning to be evil. It must be their poison. It must. The crawlers were being influenced by a hidden totem. I was so sure. Well, there goes that theory. Tell me you may be less biased than someone like me. Do you sense anything in the Tainted Forest? Anything at all? There is something that runs deeper than the spider venom here. I'm not convinced, but this does throw a gnome wrench into things. I don't believe that there is such a thing as evil. Look at me. I was raised to believe Kinos was a horrible place filled with mindless drones. Once I came of age, I realized that the Overlord's minions were spreading lies. So you moved to Kinos. Moved is such a polite way to say it. I betrayed Freeport to do what I felt in my heart was right, and yet not everyone in Kinos accepts me or my decision, so I came here, where I could help remove this island's taint. The honorable Kinosians won't work with me, so I've had to devise my own theories. You were wrong about the toxic crawler's poison. We all make mistakes. Hopefully this is not a mistake I'll live to regret. Are you willing to help me test another theory? Sure. The Tainted Forest is key. Look for the Forest Keeper, a tree ant who lives in a nook in the hillside just beyond these trees. It was a guardian of this place and has resisted the taint. It may be willing to speak to you. It chooses not to speak to a betrayer like me. I'll check into it. Alright, now continuing the main storyline, we'll talk to Predator Shadur. Ra, my bow, you did this for me. Maybe this day is not so bad. Maybe you found my arrows too. There were no arrows to be found. Well, there goes the day again. What's a bow without arrows? The only good sticks I've found to make arrow shafts are by that spider den. Brr. Be at ease, friend. I'll get the sticks. Ooh. I did kill the goblins right here, so I probably just should have gone back and talked to him, because now I have to need to gather these sticks near spiders again. That's gonna aggro onto me. Yeah, I thought so. We need 3 piles of sticks. Oh, can I keep looting from the same one? That's nice of the game to let me do that. Wouldn't even really have been so difficult for Shadur himself to go get those, but whatever. You'd do this for me again. I can fletch these sticks into perfect arrows. You, my friend, have turned my eyes. It's a great day. I know we can beat this menace. That's the spirit. You know, come to think of it, I did get a few samples before I lost my bow. Why don't you take them back to Murrar to see if they'll do? You've already got some samples, but no, really, go ahead. With your help finding my gear, you've shown that there is light in this dim hour. We will live to fight another day. Great, I know Murrar is waiting for these, so instead of going immediately back to Murrar Shar, I would like to go find the tree ant, but I'm a little scared that I'm doing things out of order and that the Murrar Shar will have me go deeper into the forest where the tree ant is, but that's fine. He's just so immediately closer that we'll do it anyway. So here's the Forest Keeper tree ant, but interesting fun fact is that, remember how I was saying the Warden and the Fury in this game, those classes, the Druid classes, have transformations? Well, the healing focused transformation uses this exact same model, so you just become a smaller scale version of this guy right here. I must remain strong and vigilant against this. I will not give in to the corruption. Are you the Forest Keeper that Deyanira spoke of? Hey, who's that? Oh, that betrayer. She should go back to Freeport. Yes, I was once a Forest Keeper maintaining this wood, but look around you. The other treants have succumbed to the evil that pervades this island. They've become ghosts trapped between this life and their rebirth. Can we do anything to stop it? Trapped in those ghostly forms, they are contributing to the decay of the forest. I've been able to stave off the taint myself, but with so many of my brethren gone, it gets more and more difficult. They must be set free so that they can be reborn into the earth. Without rebirth, there will be no living saplings. I will set them free, which, of course, means killing them. And they're all right over here. I think there's some big treants that you can get to kill, too, or big ghost treants. It would be kind of horrific if the Forest Keeper was asking you to kill not ghost or evil treants. unfortunately, I don't think that this game has elemental resistances and weaknesses. For example, I don't think that using a fire enemy on a sapling or a tree would do more damage than it would on any other enemy, which obviously is really good for balance, but I don't know, I kind of like stuff like that. Obviously, it's a very archaic and old video game thing to include, but alright, back to the Forest Keeper. I wonder where he's going to send us next, I really can't remember. I must remain strong and vigilant. Oh, he just says the same thing. I've released many of the ghosts, but there is no end to them. Alas, the decay runs too deep. You must learn what horrors those naughty goblins have released. There are still a few of them that are yet untainted at the last stand northeasterly of here. Speak to the soothsayer there. He may have ideas. We were friends in the old days. I'll do what I can. So yeah, this is... Now we need to talk to the goblins and their bases all the way over here. So let's go back to Murrar Shar. We'll get there eventually. I want to see, yeah, we'll definitely explore every single part of this island before we're done here. So walking back to Murrar Shar should be good enough to get us to a good point to end the video, I think. Yeah, this is a great time of day with the lighting. And something very interesting about this game is it's crazy just how much detail having foliage, 2D as it is, how much that brings the world to life. It just makes it look so much more visually interesting and detailed than if there was no foliage and it was just flat green. Another MMO that came out 3 years after this one, Lord of the Rings Online, which is another MMO that I care about a lot. Also realized the importance of having foliage like that, and I think the foliage on the ground in that game is essential to what makes it so pretty to look at. Level 7, nice. Good, the samples. I'll need to consult with Mirren about them, but in the meantime, here is your reward. Come back to me later, and hopefully these samples will have proven worthy. Thanks. The samples have been examined, and my worst fear has been realized. A poisonous mist clings to the tissue, eating and controlling it. I suspect necromancy, but from whom? I'm guessing you'd like me to find out. I like how he can say that, just finally uncovering this huge mystery about the evil on the island that they've never been able to figure out, and I can just say, yeah, okay, Murrar, how do I leave the island, though? That I do. My best guess is that the goblin leader, High Chieftain Grex, is involved. He is the most powerful and influential figure to the goblins. If he were somehow corrupted, the goblins would follow any orders he demanded. You want me to confront the chieftain now? First things first, we need to break through to the goblin village. I have assigned this duty to cleric Maraven. Maybe Vane, Maraven, maybe even Maraven. Seek her out and see how you can help. Will do. So were we given, yeah, we have a helmet now. Let's see how that looks. Ooh, terrible. We do need to equip the other rewards we got, though. Nice little dagger to use as well. Okay, well, before I end the video, I have to hide my helmet. I don't think I have any titles. Yeah, no, I don't. Headgear, hide head cover. There we go. Look at us. Looking spiffy. And let me just see the other options. Why not? Oh yeah, you can also choose different voices for your character, and I'm not going to go through these because they're not that great, but one of my favorite Froglock male voice lines is 1,000 pardons, and Froglock's to speak in this extremely polite, posh accent, and it's fantastic. But anyway, thank you so much for experiencing the Isle of Refuge's start. We will start making our way towards the goblin encampment in the next video. Thanks for watching. Take care. Also, she can be found at the head of Dead Canyon to the west. I'll head there now, but instead of heading there now, I'll head to the next video. Okay, bye.